Alright, we have this video from George. What we have here is an equation. Notice it is 4th degree, so this one will be a little tricky to solve, but maybe not so much if we can change this to a quadratic equation. Let's try it. So, what you could do is let u equal x squared. Let's let u equal x squared. Now you might say, well, how's that going to help? Well, if you remember your rules for powers or exponents, you could change that x to the 4th to x squared quantity squared. Because, of course, power to a power, we can multiply these. It's the same thing as x to the 4th, right? Minus your 5x squared plus your 4 equals 0. With that in mind now, can't we just substitute what you see here for the x squared with our u? Since u equals x squared, I'm going to do that. So I'm going to plug in a u wherever I see an x squared. So this would become u squared minus 5u plus 4 equals 0. Again, just repeating, u is equal to x squared. I plugged u in where you see the x squared here and where you see the x squared here. Because now what we have is a trinomial, which actually looks very easy to solve by factoring. Alright, so let's think about this in terms of factoring. We can break that trinomial here down into a binomial times a binomial. Well, the way I would think of it is, what are two numbers that would add to give me negative 5, but also multiply to give me a positive 4? Think of two numbers that will add to give me negative 5 and multiply to give me positive 4. The only two I can think of are a negative 1 and a negative 4, right? Because negative 1 minus 4 is a negative 5. Negative 1 times negative 4 is the positive 4. That's how you would factor that trinomial. Now, of course, use the zero product property. Since these two factors, these binomial factors multiplied together equal 0, we know that either this first factor of u minus 1 equals 0, or the second factor of u minus 4 would equal 0. It's either got to be one or the other. We solve them both for u. The one on the left, to undo subtraction, we add 1 to both sides. That would be u equals 1. For the other one, we need to add 4 to both sides. To get rid of the minus 4, u would equal 4. Of course, we're not done, right? Because now we have u equals 1. Well, remember what u equals from the very beginning. It equals x squared. Now go back and plug x squared in for your u's. So this would become x squared equals 1. Or the other possibility is x squared equals 4. Again, I plugged x squared back in for the u's. Now solve for x. Let me come up here to the top right. We have x squared equals 1 or x squared equals 4. Do you guys remember the old rule here? I'm running out of room. Here, let me erase this real quick. If x squared equals k, so if x squared equals k, x is equal to plus or minus the square root of k. Yeah, don't forget that rule. That's how you solve for x when x is squared, okay? You're basically taking the square root of both sides of the equation. So for this first equation, take the square root of both sides. X would equal plus or minus the square root of 1. The other one would be x is equal to plus or minus the square root of 4. Well, the square root of 1, of course, is just 1. So it would be plus or minus 1. And the square root of 4 is going to be 2. So plus or minus 2. So we have 4 possible answers, 4 possible solutions for that original equation. You would have either negative 1, 1, negative 2, or 2. All of them would be a solution to the original equation. So I hope that was very helpful for you, and please start sending some more videos my way. I love doing the videos. All right, have a great day and take care.